Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is MIKEKINGBIZ, the voice of RVA business media. At MIKEKINGBIZ, we celebrate the idea that business makes society better. On behalf of the whole MIKEKINGBIZ ecosystem, we say a big thank you.
Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations That Matter. I am your host, Lynn Lewis, and I am so grateful that you chose to join us today. By way of introduction for myself, I am a certified grief coach as well as a certified grief educator, of course, the host of this radio show, and I am the Chief Empathy Officer for Destined to Thrive Grief Coaching Services. Today I have with me Ms. Karen Kennedy from Full Circle Grief Center. Karen is the Senior Manager for Suicide Bereavement Services. Thank you for being here, Karen. You'll hear from her in a few minutes, but first, I just want to reiterate that we are talking about suicide loss today. So just so that you'll be prepared if you need to take leave or take a break from our conversations. It is a conversation that matters, but sometimes it can be triggering to some people. So just want you all, our beloved audience, to know that. So a couple of things will happen today. One, I am going to share with you all about this wonderful event that I have coming up on Saturday, September 19th of this year, in remembrance of September being Suicide Awareness Month. And this is also in memory of and honor of my son, Daniel Brooks Lewis, who took his earthly leave 7 years ago. So why am I doing an event? It is for community. I just think it's very important from my lived experience and just from the experiences of others that community is important. The event is called Memories and Mocktails for survivors of suicide loss. It is open to anyone that's adult and older. Of course, children can come, but it's with a parent or an adult at your own discretion, because again, it's going to be a heavy topic. So of course, we'll have some mocktails and some hors d'oeuvres, but we will also be doing an activity using the journal that I published about 3 years ago. I will walk you through the parts of the journal. You get to take it home with you. We'll also have some conversation where I'll share my story and what led me to do the journal and to do this event. So I'm really looking forward to you all being there, taking advantage of this community event. It's going to be held at Social Flair Event Studio at 10934 Hall Street Road, that is near Genito and Hall Streets. So again, looking forward to you being there. Oh, you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. So hoping to see you there. And there will be much more. We may even have a community advocate to come and share with us as well. So I told you that I have my colleague, my acquaintance, Karen Kennedy, with me today. So Karen, tell the audience just a little bit about yourself and Full Circle.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me, Lynn.
Of course.
Full Circle is the comprehensive grief support organization here in Richmond, and we provide professional services for individuals and groups after a death. We also provide services for anticipatory grief as well. And
can you tell us a little bit about what's anticipatory grief?
Anticipatory grief is when you know a death is coming, and we support not only the person who is experiencing that, but we support their family and friends as they move on that journey.
Yeah, that's very important. That's one of the things that we don't often think about is, what's going on in the person's mind and their heart as they watch a person make their transition, whether it's long term or shorter term. And one thing I did forget to say is that for us to keep in mind that loss is really anything that you no longer have access to, something you loved, something you cared about. And then grief is the emotional reaction or response to that loss. So, like you just mentioned about anticipatory grief, we have emotions going on. We have things happening as we see our people, loved ones, slipping away, whether it's something that they are ready for or not. So thank you for bringing that up. But as the senior manager of the suicide bereavement, what do you see, or do you see difference between that and, say, maybe a death that happened as an accident or an illness? Or do you see any differences?
I do see differences. I really do. And I feel, as you experienced yourself, that the grief after a suicide loss is that has unique elements that are different than grief from other forms of loss. Specifically for suicide loss survivors, there's intense guilt, there's unanswered questions, there's just an array of feelings, there's the stigma that we have with suicide that really people that reach out for help many of them feel very isolated, very judged. They feel like their loved one was judged. There are all these elements about the loss. So not only are we grieving the death of somebody, but we're grieving in all these different areas that other types of losses we don't typically see.
I know for me, when my son left, excuse me, there was I could not say, and I chose not to say suicide for months. It may have been the first year. I don't remember specifically now because it's been 7 years, but I just could not make myself say that. It couldn't have been anything else. I wasn't blaming, anything else because everything pointed to that, but it was just something about, and it was protecting him, I think, more than me. I don't want people to think badly of him. I don't want people to think he would do that. So yes, that's huge. The anger, I was mad at him for, as the young people say, for a minute. I was mad at myself. I was mad at a couple of his friends that were with him all the time. And so that is, I say that there is grief and then there's suicide grief. It's that extra layer of complexities that's added to. And that, again, is the reason why I'm hosting this event, Memories and Mocktails, because during those times, we need community. We need community. We need that space that we can be okay if we don't want to talk at all. We can be okay if we want to cry, fuss, cuss, ask questions, all of those things. So,
and that community really provides an emotionally safe space for survivors, because for many, going out into the regular community and discussing these elements, it's not easy, nor do we get received the way that we would like to be received. Right. And so when you're in a community like you're hosting, people know that there's a shared experience and there's an emotional safety and there's connectedness when everyone is sort of feeling that same piece of isolation and things like that aren't as well known in the community.
Exactly. So thank you so much for sharing that. Again, I'm here with Karen Kennedy from Full Circle Grief Center, and our topic of discussion today is suicide, loss. I remember actually Mike interviewed me one day, and I talked about some of the different organizations that I support, and of course Full Circle was one of the three that I talked about. And he asked me what was it about Full Circle, that why I supported. And I remember saying, one, because when I found out about you all, I was interviewed before I was accepted, which I love that, because we don't fit in everywhere. I always tell people, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that, but I'll help you find your flavor, right? So I love that happened. I love that I was told during that interview that even once you are not active in any of the programs, you're still a part of the family. And here we are, 7 years later, and I feel very much a part of the Full Circle family. And he also asked me that day, what was it that, how did I move from me and them and we, or us? Mm-hmm. And I said that likeness, that like-mindedness. I said there was 3 other moms in that my support group that had the same experience as me with their sons. And we bonded. And he said, you found your people? I said, yes, I found. And for 2 or 3 years, we stayed in touch. Probably would have been more, but as you know, COVID happened. So that changed the dynamics. But even now, occasionally, we'll still touch bases. So, yeah, that is a great community. And
it's a great community, and professionally, I have my own experience, I have my own training, but I learn the most from you. Mm-hmm. I learn the most from people who bravely share their stories with us, with the community, with the group. Takes a lot to come to a support group for suicide loss. It's very brave.
Oh, yeah. And I think one of the things that helped me when I came was that interview that I had prior, because it kind of prepared me. I mean, it was still the unknown piece about what's going to happen when I walk in, but it still helped me somewhat. And I was determined that I'm going to figure out how to continue to live despite what had happened. I'm going to figure this out. And so I was hungry for and thirsting for something.
Yes.
So anyway, what else, Karen, can you tell us about Full Circle? Anything other? I know you work in the suicide bereavement part, but any other things that you'd like to share with us about Full Circle?
Yes. So we provide support groups for families and children. We do overdose loss support groups, moms groups, partner loss support groups, pregnancy loss groups, individual counseling. And then we're really focusing a lot on getting out into the community with postvention services, especially for suicide loss. A lot of educational opportunities and trainings to help the community learn more about how to respond to a loss by suicide. If there is a loss in the community, we come and we educate and we provide resources and accurate information about suicide and contributing factors that lead to suicide, and and some of the myths that we know, and we share like accurate and inaccurate information. So hopefully, as we continue to get into the community throughout the state of Virginia and offer these services, it'll be easier for those who need it to come forward and get support.
Definitely. Yeah, postvention is really because awareness is great, prevention is great, but sometimes somebody slips through, gets through, and so you end up on the club that I'm in. And so then we need to talk about postvention, how to take care of us that's left with all of the questions, with all of the ugliness, with all of the unexplainable. So postvention is of huge interest to me. That's an area that I really, really want to do more work in.
It's very needed, very much needed.
Yes. Anything else? Anything coming up? Anything coming up?
We'll have our holiday candlelight service this year. It'll be at a different location. We'll be out in the community this year as opposed to by our old center. We have various groups that will begin in the fall, starting in September, and we're getting ready to launch a very, very supportive educational postvention manual in partnership with Virginia Department of Health. So we'll have that together. Those services will be on our website as well as physical books that we'll be able to hand to people to help them as they come into this traumatic, shocking experience, have a book to sort of look through and identify certain things, help people feel less alone.
One thing you mentioned, the candlelight service. If none of this resonates for you, if you are not a person that needs a service that they offer, there are volunteer opportunities. Now, remind me, even if you don't need any of the services, can you come as a volunteer from the community?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm a part of the family and I volunteer. And last week I was there helping get the candles together for the candlelight service. And I was amazed at how many candles you all use for that. So that's good.
Yes, that event is growing, which we're really happy to be able to provide that space.
Yeah. And where is it going to be and what day?
I don't know. I think we're still finding a location out in the community.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. So again, I am here with Karen Kennedy, and we're talking about suicide loss today, and just want to remind us again about my event that's coming up on September 19th at Social Flair Event Studio at 10934 Hall Street Road, which is located near the intersection of Genito Road and Hall Street Road. It is that Saturday, September 19th from 1 to 3:30. We'll have refreshments, as well as I'll tell more of my story. We will have an activity or two together, and just to spend time in community with each other, holding space for each other as we continue to navigate this terrain. So sometimes it's more rocky than at other times, but I just want to thank you, Karen, for being here with me today. Tell the audience how Full Circle can be reached.
Thank you for having me. You can find us on our website, which is www.fullcirclegc.org. And you'll find everything you need there, our contact information, all about our groups, all about our services. And we also have a very detailed bereavement resource manual that you can click on to find resources within the community, but also reach out to me and I'm happy to help however I can.
Thank you so much. And then, of course, you can reach me, Lynn Lewis, for any of your grief educator services that you need. I do have a couple of spots left for September if you need a speaker or a workshop coordinator. I'm available. Don't wait until September 29th and call asking for us, can you come? Because that may be too late. But again, let's not wait until the last minute. Let's try to be prepared. And so reach me at Instagram at Grief Coach Lynn, my website, which is Destined to Thrive Grief Coaching.com, and I am also on Facebook as well as LinkedIn. And so I look forward to hearing from you. I offer complimentary conversations. If you just want to talk, just want to have questions to ask, even if it's about Full Circle, if I don't know the answer, I know the people to send you to. So thank you so much for joining me this day for Conversations That Matter. I'm your host, Lynn Lewis, and until another time, I bid you well.
You are here, helping us give everyone the chance to live a longer, healthier life, free from breast cancer. You are survivors. You are thrivers and supporters. You are the heartbeat of the #1 breast cancer movement in the country. You are making strides against breast cancer.
Making Strides Walk of Central Virginia at Monroe Park on October 17th at 9 a.m.
Judge how you judge it, say we going corporate. Nah, we just corner boys with the corner office. And that's the cap table, what this is. Not that cap table, but we live this.
Promoting how business can make the community better. No one does it better than MIKEKINGBIZ. On the mic with Mike. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program around. I'm your host, Mike King, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Center, powered by Icon Realty Group. Those are my people over there. We're coming to you every day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. That's where you hear On the Mic with Mike, as well as Saturday, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio. I got the man back in the building. Quality Movement Services own Mr. Vincent Tucker. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you having us.
Yes, I appreciate you coming. And just so we're clear for the record, you did not show up here by yourself. You did not?
I did not. I have in the room this morning, Candy Evans, who's my Vice President of Operations. She does a fine job for us.
Exactly. That is our talking, but we're sticking with that. Because we all need somebody to make sure we run smoothly. Whether, in business, you can't run things alone, and you have a long history in business, not just in business, but also on the philanthropy side. Tell us who you are, sir, and what you do.
Vincent Tucker, the President of Quality Moving Services, and we move things.
You move things?
Yes, we move residential homes, houses, condos, apartments.
Whole schools?
Yes, sir.
Wait, I heard that one. You know that things move, and then schools, and then big. When you worked at a place and you moved locations, you took your little things with you, and you showed up the next Monday, and your stuff was there. Then you put your little things back. You're the folks who's making all that happen over the weekend.
We do.
When we're at home relaxing.
When there's a school that's closed or your residents, we'll come in, move everything from head to toe. And if you want us to put everything back in place, we have the capability of doing that. We do.
Because the movement is the bad part. The putting the stuff back up is the horrible part.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, we've moved a lot because I was in the Army. So we moved 16 times.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. So we don't own anything heavy because, we can't move it for the most part, But that putting things back together, that's why you see people got boxes that have been sitting around
for years.
Exactly.
And they move them to the attic.
Yes. And the thing is, there's that box that's been sitting there. It was something important 10 years ago, but it's been up in the attic for so long. We forgot what it was. And then it's like, you get something new when we're forced to go to that box, or whether we're moving again, and somebody says, what's in there? Because we didn't write what's in the box. We said no. That would have been a responsible person.
Well, 10 years later, you certainly don't know what's in that box.
You surely don't. And there are other boxes around it. So you guys put things back up. So besides the movies, I know you from doing business with Quality Moving. That's how you guys operate quality. But you also do a lot in the community, too. Touch on why that's so important for you.
You mean as far as giving back to the community?
Because we're going to get this other thing you got, too. You're almost as well known for that. And that takes a lot because you've been doing the moving thing for a long time.
37 years, absolutely.
But this other thing you talk about.
So there are multiple layers here. So we give back to the community in other ways. We collaborate with other nonprofits, even profitable organizations on things for the community. The community in which we are in, we're always looking to add value to that community, whether it's teaming up with Blessed Cookies Community Network and giving food back to the community, Cokes in the wintertime, etc., and other organizations as well. We don't always make these announcements, we just show up.
You just show up and provide a need.
Yes, yes. And it's very important. It helps bring economic value to the community, and it's also a teachable moment as well for those who live in the community. You always have to give back.
There you go, Mr. Vincent Tucker. Quality moving. As we move along, when we'd had this conversation before about how, when you knew you had something for the business, businesses go up and down. It's the curve that sometimes people make it, sometimes people don't. Touch on how you, operate with, your whole idea of corporate culture. There was a time you had your hands on everything.
Yes.
Had your hands on everything. You knew every move. You're standing there, it's you. Then you get a little bit removed. Then you get a little bit removed. How do you keep that culture of when Vincent Tucker's standing right there in my crib while the people's moving things out?
Well, if I show up and my people are moving, I'm probably going to help.
You're just going to start moving too.
I'm going to start helping and fine tune the move. Let me talk to you one-on-one, and we start, having a discussion, and you'll tell me about the value of these pictures, and this has been in my family for so long. I'm listening to you, although I'm learning from you. So I'll make sure that those things are taken care of while I'm there, and to make sure, that level of professionalism stays there.
How do you groom the next level of leadership talent? So you see people come in, they're, okay, this is giving them opportunities. How do you groom that next level for a person who used to, they were on the moving crew, and all of a sudden you see they add a little something there. Okay, and now you start bringing them along, offering that's next level up. Because there was a time when Vincent Tucker walked in, I see you in a whole bunch of different kind of rooms. There was a time when you walked in and you were like, oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, yeah. Now, you're that guy. And people are like, oh, yeah. I always wanted to meet you. I saw you on TV. I saw the things you're doing. How do you get that next generation ready?
You have to so everyone has talents and gifts. And if you're watching people long enough, you can kind of pick up on some of their talents and gifts. So you kind of chime in on those things in conversation, and you kind of watch them and you give guidance as you go. They may not realize what it is, but we kind of notice people and watch people, particularly on our team. Mm-hmm. If you see someone who's attentive, you say, okay, he has a good eye for this. So there's some putting stuff back together, to get that person. He's going to keep up with those screws. Mm-hmm. And that has a lot of potential on these larger jobs where you need that type of individual on those jobs who are detailed. So it's just a matter of watching, and then you can, see where they are as far as time and responsibility. Then you want to try to move them up to that next level.
How can people get information about Quality Moving?
Give us a call anytime. Quality Moving Services, 804-796-4860. She'll give me all the details, but just give us a call.
Google them.
That's right.
That's where we start. That's how you get to a certain point. Yeah, history. It's not, they didn't just show up 2 weeks ago. Quality Moving. So you guys, residential, commercial, doesn't matter to you. You handle it all.
Yes. And, my one thing about this industry is everyone needs a mover. Everybody needs something moved sooner or later. You may have junk around your but we handle that too. Quality junk removal. Unwanted items is what I like to call them. And sometimes people need things moved around. We don't want this sofa over here anymore. We need to get this room rearranged, So those short moves, we handle those as well. So we just have to be open. And we moved the company recently. They had a big warehouse full of water. In fact, it was Henrico County. And we had to, collaborate with some folks that had some tractors and trailers that help us get all that stuff moved.
Tractors and trailers?
It was that Henrico County had thousands of pallets of water, and we need to get it done. So we have to be versatile. We have to be open.
Let's go back to the younger Vincent Tucker out there. When you got that first big job, like when you said we moved some water, all right, okay, we moved some water. Now you're talking about tractor trailers. I'm like, okay. What was it like the first time you were doing your thing and, business was good, and all of a sudden that one job came in, something came in that you hadn't pitched. Somebody came and found you. What did that feel like?
It was a good feeling to have someone call on you for your personal services, and you become a little nervous. What are their expectations? Can I handle this move? So, two things I knew to have: plenty of blankets and a lot of manpower. And I remember being on jobs 22, 23 hours at a time. It was more than what we expected, but we couldn't stop it till we got it completed.
So, we'd heard that quality say something may go sideways. Maybe. In business, things don't go. But you're always going to work to make it right.
Yes.
People remember. They don't remember the things, but they just remember it ended up right. And that's what we're talking about. All righty, sir. So that's the quality moving side of the house. Did we get everything we were supposed to, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Did a decent job, yes.
Decent job. Keep striving. You guys might get to okay at some point. All righty, so 1 second. This next thing that we're coming to is big. I mean, the business aspect is big. This next one is, for us, for people, it's monumental. Hold on 1 second here. We spare no expense around here, ladies and gentlemen, for my granddaughter Isabella back in the day. The William Tucker 1624 Society. We know, like I said before we came on air, I know my great-grandmother. That's all I know. My dad used to make reference in Philadelphia, talking about Geechees, thinking that was just, I don't know where he came up with that, but that was that. I know that part of my family history, and a lot of people are in the same position as me. Sir, you go back a very long way.
Yes.
Let's talk about that part of it.
The William Tucker 1624 Society started probably around 2008, but it wasn't legal. I'm not going to say it wasn't legal. It was just my father and his siblings decided to come together, and we became part of the State Corporation Commission with all of our credentials around 2016, 2017.
Okay.
But the stories have gone from generation to generation, and that story is that we have always been here. And what that means is when that first ship landed at Point Comfort, which is Fort Monroe, in 1619, our descendants were upon that ship.
Yes.
And so that word carried on from generation to generation to generation.
Somebody's people were on that ship.
Yes.
We didn't know whose people was on that ship, but now you figure out your people was on the one shortly thereafter.
Yes. Well, on that particular ship, the first ship that came to...
Really?
Yes. First ship that came to Virginia.
Now. Okay. So 1619.
Yes. So for years, people always thought it was Jamestown.
Okay.
They talked about Jamestown.
Yes, that's what we knew of.
But an organization, Project 1619, did some deep, hard research and discovered that was incorrect, that first ship entered into Fort Monroe, back then Old Point Comfort, in 1619. They found the records. It's a real thing. So, but we have been told all along that we were part of that ship, our family. And so when I did a DNA test multiple years ago, it showed part of Africa that we came from, which was Angola. And so we just began to do more research and talk to more family members and kind of narrow down the story.
So your father and his siblings.
Yes.
started to reach back. Now, each one remembered Auntie so-and-so, and this remember, Nuke, and this remember Granny so-and-so. All of a sudden, they had to get to a point, all right, we done went back a generation. We done went back to maybe the 20s or the 1900s. But you guys keep going, finding, this was that person in 1874. Then it really turns into something then because you're starting to see and connect the dots. A lot of times families don't have the person to push forward with it. Or sometimes people are kind of leery about, this whole ancestry thing.
Yes.
And so a lot of times our people don't do it because it's kind of hard when there's not the paperwork to go. But then we start putting little pieces together and you're able to go back to that first person getting here.
So you're correct of touching base with your grandmother, great-grandmother. So we were able to go back to probably the early 1800s, maybe into the late 1700s. But the stories were consistent from all of them that we have always been here. And then we started finding certain nuggets, whether it's cemeteries or just talking to communities and things of that nature. It takes time and research. We have a cousin who's no longer with us, Thelma Williams. She also did a lot of work, most of the work actually, for us to get to the point where we're at now.
So you guys have celebrated that, and this has really turned into an organization that's well known, and you guys do a lot of things. You have some certain things coming up. What are we talking about?
Well, every year we commemorate African Landing Memorial or Commemoration Day. But this year is super special. We're right at 407 years of the first arrival of blacks in the Virginia colony. Last year, earlier this year, we celebrated a memorial that's built at Fort Monroe. Now, on August 29th, those figures, statues of Baby William and Anthony and Isabella will be revealed. Now, the importance of the memorial is that Angola itself, the granite, the concrete, the marble that's there, came from Angola.
And you guys go back on it every year?
We go to Angola every year. We built strong relationships with them. We talk to them about some of these projects, and we have joined forces. So several years ago, We're Better Together was our theme. And we showcase their input. We go there for their ideas. They come here for our ideas, and we talk about the history. And so that started the tour. So every year we go back, we meet with top officials. We are part of our sister cities and also Chamber of Commerce over there. So we see the many American companies that's there, Exxon, Chevron, Coca-Cola, many of them, because we're part of the same association. We see the growth of Angola, and we see how that country doing wonderful things. It's not just about gold and diamonds, it's everything.
So you go on a regular basis.
Yes.
I'm not going to say you get used to the magic part of it, but you've seen it already. What happens when you get people go for the first time? You see that look on their face. First they're excited, they don't know what they're going to, and then all of a sudden they get there and realize that you're connecting the dots from here to there, and all of a sudden they're at the motherland, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow.
Yes. That's the reaction we get because they're not sure what to expect. But we start from a small point, and we just begin to talk about the current culture. We talk about the civil wars that they have had over the years. We talk about their independence. So we lay down a lot of groundwork so they can help understand. And as we go on the tour, all of it comes to light, and they begin to put the pieces together. So when they see a building is half tore down, we relate back to Ukraine, the Civil War. Okay. This is what happens. You have to rebuild after those things. And so Angola is just celebrating 50 years of independence. 50, only 50.
Exactly.
And so, but there are beautiful buildings there. They're beautiful buildings and places to attend and to look at. A lot of history. And because of our connection with the government there, they have taken us deeper inside to look at libraries and to show us where the books are. You know, some of the books are in Angola, some are taken over to Portugal because they were part of that Civil War. So we get a lot of the insight of what's happening. To ask and wonder why there are huts out in the middle of these certain areas. That is also explained to us. But it's a lot of wealth there, it's a lot of richness, and to see our people grow. And the only thing that they're working on, the biggest thing, is how do we communicate?
Okay.
So English is a problem there. Their native tongue is Portuguese. And so there are some barriers there, but we're all working on it.
Touch on the slave museum at the airport.
At their airport?
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you get support.
Two separate things, the slave museum and the new airport.
So, okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's what happens when you're communicating in real time. Okay, let's talk about the slave museum.
Okay, the slave museum.
Well, before you get to that point, I know I'm going to throw you off. History in America looks different for people down south than being from up north. It looks way different. You know, up north in Philly, we had Ben Franklin and Betsy Ross House, that kind of thing. You come to Virginia, like the slaves got off here. Like, whoa, that makes it a whole lot different. And what you guys are bringing to them is you're bringing America to them. Like America may be a concept. So touch on the slave museum, and then we'll hit on the airport. I got to hear about the airport because, something special.
Okay. So the slave museum there gives us a clear account of what happened and how did they get in that position. And then to try to break it down, it's all about economics.
Okay.
It's always been about economics and free labor. So when you see the struggles there and how broad that enslavement went, and the reason why we were tricked into, and just kidnapped is a better word, to come here, we don't get the same story. We don't get the complete story here.
Okay.
But when you're in there, you can see this thing brewing, and you can see the many miles of people walking from the rural areas to the small boats, going from the small boats to the ships. But one thing, Mike, that people did not know is that a lot of people who may have walked that journey, they didn't make it, they're too old to handle that trip. They were put into a pit and burned. So when people talk about the Holocaust here and what happened to the Jews, well, listen, this thing happened to us in real time. A lot before, what happened to the Jews here in America. So this is part of the history we don't know. And it's not told. But when you go to not just Angola, but many parts of the continent, you will hear these stories and it will give you a different reality.
For sure. So if Angola's 50 years old, and we know how old Africa as a whole is, are there things that they have access to that was before their independence? Like, are some of those things still there? Or was everything, for the most part, taken away?
A lot of what was there was taken away. The Portuguese were in control. So a lot of the history, books or what have you, have been transferred to Portugal.
Okay.
There's a lot of resources that's still there. And one thing they have that will not go away, they have what is called sobers. Sobers are the men of knowledge in communities. And those stories are still taught today, just like if we were in the neighborhood. There was always someone, that person who could tell you the history of the neighborhood. So the sobers, every time we come, they are there to tell us about the history of that country, where it took place.
Vincent Tucker here. How can people get information about this project here?
They can look us up at the William Tucker 1624 Society. We have a wealth of knowledge on our website, and they can just Google us and find out a lot as well. But we have a lot of programs coming up this month.
Okay, talk to me. What you got going on?
So starting August 22nd, Project 1619 kicks off. For them, it's called Enslavement Day.
Enslaved African Landing Day.
Exactly.
Enslaved African Landing Day.
That's exactly what you were going to say.
Yes, you know it,
Exactly. I
Mike.
understand.
And they have activities throughout that week as well. But on our program, which is 29th, we call ours African Landing Commemoration. Because we not only talk about it, but it also bring everybody. We bring in the indigenous people. We bring in all sorts of folks because this is America. Everybody had a part in this.
Mm-hmm.
But the governor will be there with us on the 29th. A lot of dignitaries, people from all over the world will be there because that day is the day we're revealing the statues of Baby William, Anthony, and Isabella, which we're descendants of. So it's a very special day. Throughout that week, there are many activities, there are lecturers. And so I also want to bring up some of our sponsors.
Hold on, because you know me. You guys show the love for the sponsors. Changing the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. Money got to change hands. Hold on. Yes. Thank you to the sponsors. Who are they?
The National Alliance of Faith and Justice. We have Dominion Energy, Quality Moving Services. Guess what? The Better Business Bureau of Central Virginia.
Oh, I know you roll with Barry.
Yes, I roll with Barry. Virginia Credit Union, CNF Wealth Management, which is
Tanya
Battle and her team.
Shout out to Tanya Battle out there. So I know you roll with her too. I see you out there.
Yes, sir.
Hobnobbing with the
And
big
K&HE Business Solutions, one of our largest donors.
K-N-H-E. We'd like to thank you for making this possible.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, this is the whole idea about business helping society be better. And that's so there's a story that you guys have to tell. And for them to step behind it and get the word out, we appreciate that. So a young fella came in, and I was over at the University of Richmond, and it was this thing called Techstars. And he talked about, he has this app to stop people from doom scrolling. So I asked him, he came to America, and he goes U of R. And I asked him, when you go back home, what are like a couple of things people ask you there? He says, does money grow on trees in America? And have you ever met Beyonce? We laugh with that one right there, but, okay, it does seem kind of outlandish, but that's what it turns into. And I asked him, what is it about America? He says, we studied English, so when I'm talking proper English, people don't know what we're talking about. So it's the view of America from foreigners. Another lady came in, Amagati came in a couple weeks ago, and she talked about being from Ghana, and she says she comes here, she realizes Americans don't know a lot of things because we're Americans. We get down with that, we don't know how to speak other languages for the most part. And she says, but when family members back there look at them, they think automatically you guys are at the land where money is printed. His money is printed there. And so it's that view that people have of America. Mm-hmm. But now Americans, especially our people, looking back going, there's that part of that history that most people don't get. So for you and your family, that talks about where you come from, like coming from up north. It's like we know what we know, past, Mom Pearl, we don't know who Mom Pearl's mother was, or her mother had two sisters, or all those things that take us back generations. So congratulations to you and your family for going through that. And it showcases to another family, hey, we could do that. We just got to get somebody who can sort of open the door. So you got a big gala going. What you guys going to be all dressed up out there? I see you got Dr. Smith as a keynote speaker.
Dr. Jeffrey Smith is the Secretary of Education for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
And he got a story. He's an entertaining speaker.
Yes. And he also used to be the superintendent for over the schools in the city of Hampton. So this is going to be a big day for us, a day of learning. And also, the governor is going to have the children there speaking out there, calling out their ancestors. So we encourage everyone to bring your children. This is a good time to have a wonderful family day there, because there are going to be some, no, they're not going to be in the vendors, but we're going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be a day of learning.
There you go. Mr. Tucker is here. How can people get information about the society? Like we're saying, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to have that information available.
You know she's going to send me back and train
exactly, because you know
the William Tucker 1624 Society. Look us up, Google us, and you will find us. WT1624society.org. There you have it. And also on the 28th.
I'm glad you just remembered that.
Yes, Mike. I tell
you. It's funny how you know your memory just comes back.
A jazz night out. Scholarship fundraiser is going to be at the Embassy Suites by Hilton, the Hampton Convention Center, starting at 6 o'clock sharp. We do a big thing on scholarships. We give back every year to the high school students in that area. It is a big deal. And we're asking people to go online, Eventbrite, get your tickets down. This is our 4th or 5th year doing this. It's wonderful.
Don't wait to get the tickets.
That's right. No.
You know, I don't know people wait to get the tickets. Go ahead and get the tickets. I always talk about the room to be in. We turn room. It's going to be fun. It is going to be over the top. You know, I understand. Yes, I do this for a living. I take cues. I mean, it may be kind of awkward because, you know, we have to communicate information. We get it right here.
That's right.
We get it right here. But you guys are doing something big, and don't wait to get the tickets, because we talk about being in rooms. You know, rooms, there are rooms, and then there are rooms.
Yes.
And so what you're doing is you're going to be in the room with something historic. Like I said, it's history that's different than most people are able to put their hands on and tell your kids where your people came from.
And I'll tell you another thing, Mike. It's going to be the Angola Embassy will be there on Friday night to help celebrate with us as well. And they decided to bring us some Angolan food, authentic food they're going to have there for us to sample and all that are in attendance. They're excited. We've been partnering with them over the last 3 or 4 years. It's going to be a night to remember.
Because I seen you got the pictures with you and with the leadership folks over there.
Yes.
I seen you.
Yes, we were with the Vice President of Angola back last month, actually, in July. She came down last summer. She was with the embassy. She called for us to have a meeting. And when we went back in July, we met with her. We have also met with the President of Angola. We stop in their province and meet with the governors there. So it's a big thing when we go back. It's a wonderful experience. Please come out and celebrate and join us at the Jazz Night Out Scholarship Fundraiser, August 28th. Starts at 6. Get your tickets early.
Get your tickets early. I got to work on the quality of the people that I hang around. You're just rattling off names and the president and the vice president and all those things. I start looking back and go,
Well, you're always welcome to join us, Mike, and I'll introduce you. Your people are my people, my people are your people.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about. Vincent Tucker, Quality Moving Services. He knows that information. Because he doesn't need help with that one. You ever need any moving, make sure you contact them. It is hands-on service. It's the best out there. He has to go. We got stuff to do.
MIKEKINGBIZ, the social enterprise brand on a mission. MIKEKINGBIZ.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike King here, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Center, powered by Icon Realty Group. Yes, our good folks down in Rockets Landing. So we're here. What we do is we're here every day, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can follow us on socials that way, which are Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. And then we are on ESPN Richmond every Saturday from 6 to 7 a.m. What we do is we talk to the best and the brightest who are out here. There's an event that's having the streets buzzing. And now it's Disrupt RVA. Now, I spent a lot of years in the Army, and folks would think that, I'm the buttoned up guy. No, I am not. I gave Uncle all that buttoned upness. This is what's left. But when I hear Disrupt RVA, that kind of concerns me. It does seem like that could be a little something, but we got the folks here who are making it happen. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us who you are and what you do.
So I'm Roxanne Brown. I'm the CEO of The Change Decision.
I'm Ed Cook. I'm the president of The Change Decision. And together we're the co-owners of Disrupt RVA.
Okay, so Disrupt RVA is it nationwide?
It's international, yeah.
It's international. How did that come to your radar, and why was it interesting?
Well, it actually landed in Richmond in 2017, and we just saw it on LinkedIn and on a whim. We just decided to go just to see what it was all about. But at that time, it was called Disrupt HR. And we had just started our business, and we were trying to understand what's going on in the Richmond area. And so we were really interested. And when we got there, we were really amazed at the energy there. One of the things that took us by surprise is the format of the small talks. They're 5-minute talks. But the energy of the crowd was really cool. And part of that was what we learned is that when you go to a Disrupt event, you don't sit back and be entertained. You have a job too, and that's to encourage the speakers. And that's because it's so hard. It's such a hard format, this speaking format that's required with Disrupt.
All righty, so let's go back. Well, we're gonna come back to Disrupt. Tell us about your business, because you had talked about something that's kind of near and dear to me is joy. Joy, and I know times I could come and be the hokey one. I get that, But there, people say there's no I in team. I'm like, yeah, there is, because if I don't do my job, your job gets harder. And you know what happens? We don't have joy on the team.
That's right.
And so we talked to us about the concept of what you do and the impact it has on a business.
Yeah, so the idea is that things are changing all the time. So we're guiding businesses through whatever kind of change you're doing. It could be a merger, acquisition, new piece of technology, and you need to make that go well. But we want to go beyond that. So make that go well, and also, because of how you do it, have an impact on the culture, what we call growing joy at work. So it's beyond just achieving the basic goals of the project or the idea. It's constantly thinking as well about how are we feeding that forward into the culture and lifting everyone up. Because the idea is that people come with all their talents and all their concerns and all their good stuff and all their junk, and all that is coming in to play in the business. And if you're putting them into a joyful frame, then they're going to do better and the business is going to do better.
All righty, sir. There are people who are naysayers, who the bottom line folks who say, let's just chop, let's get to it.
Right.
There is a bottom line effect to organizations that get along. Mm-hmm. And so touch on that, because there are people who say, that's all that, mushy stuff, can't we all just get along? All that. And we're like, no, organizations that have that work better.
Mm-hmm.
They do. And that you talked about your experience in the Army. I was in the Navy, and I have an engineering background. I have all the credentials to be a curmudgeon.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, you do. Being in the Army, I'm like, okay, a Navy guy who, is an engineer, he wears suspenders and a belt.
That's
I'm
right.
just saying. For folks who don't understand, that's, there's double protection there.
That's
Nothing
right.
is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I hope you experience this too, even when you're doing something that's very difficult, even if you don't want to be there, if you're there with a group of people and you come together in a certain way, you can do amazing things. And I never would have said the word joy while I was in the Navy, but It was when I look back on it.
When you look back in the moment, it's the worst. You're like,
Right.
man, I can't believe here. And then years later, you're going, hey, I wonder what happened to Jones. Remember that time we were doing that thing?
That's
My
right.
wife says when I go somewhere, when we get to another place, I'm like, oh, man, I miss that place. My wife's like, Mike, you were complaining about that. Oh, yeah, in the moment. But now you get away. You're able to put some time to it. And the military does put people together.
Yep.
Like you have to grow up together. In a business, you hire this person, and it doesn't have that kind of impact on you.
Right.
But you look back, the joy part does play a part in it.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the things we do and have done since our origin story, which is back in 2013, is we've done interviews. We call this joy research. We ask executives and senior executives, CEOs, et cetera, what does joy at work mean to you, and how does it manifest in the organizations they lead? One of the things that's really fascinating is the people who describe their best team experiences always describe something that from the outside looking in looked impossible to achieve, or achieve in the way you did it, or some combination. So for us, the definition of joy in the work context is something specific as opposed to joy generally.
One of the things, so we had the conversation before, which is, adding joy to the conversation at work. Does it, we have the sales gurus or operations people. If we got to work at the people at the top, and they have to, insert it that way from the top down, trickle down effect. Or can it be a groundswell of the people that all of a sudden can force the change? Your thoughts, ma'am?
Well, I always felt like if I could, my presence at work could have an impact on the atmosphere of a team or whoever I was working with. And I always found that to be true. And so for me, I always thought, why wouldn't I try and make that a positive thing? Because most of the things that I was doing was not life or death. When you're talking about the military, that's a different thing. But when you're talking about regular, typical situations, why not make it joyful? Or why not make it at least positive, even if you're doing something difficult, or maybe especially if you are?
Can we gauge joy in an organization?
Oh, yes, you can. So,
really?
Yeah. So that is something we've been working on.
Yeah, you can do that. You could do it yourself, right? You may not.
No, yeah, right.
You might not have a joy thermometer that can go around and check the joy level, but when you walk in for an organization if it is or it isn't. We're just trying to go to the next level, right, to actually create a bit of that thermometer. We don't want to get all the way to some weird quantitative thing, but we do want to have some measure of, is it getting better or is it getting worse?
Right.
Okay, so this comes from an Army guy asking a guy from the Navy. Does it turn at the pace of a battleship, or can it be like a speedboat?
Thank you for putting it in terms that I can understand.
Yes, you can, for folks who don't understand like me, I'm not the technical person, but I've heard you can't turn a battleship. Everybody says that.
But remember the origin story?
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, 1 second. Connie, can you get my sound machine, please? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Connie Hom. Oh, she was getting ready to go in front of the camera. When something good is going to happen, a story is going to be told. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the origin story.
So, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Okay, and this must have to do with the Navy.
Well, so the origin story, I'll come back to your Navy analogy. Right. So it could be fast. I mean, it can be a speedboat, but you have to bring the right conditions in. And so to tell our story, Roxanne and I are working on a very large, complex project in a very large organization, and it is going incredibly poorly. And
publicly incredibly.
Two disgruntled employees looking over at each other, smiling like, "Man, we can do a better job than this."
Right.
So just everything's going wrong. The project was improperly scoped, and so at one point we had to go tell the CIO that we needed to double the budget. Going from a $30 million budget to a $70 million budget is not the kind of thing senior executives want to hear. People are disgruntled because of the extra pressure that's coming, and it's just been difficult all the way through. But the very low point comes when most of the managers within the company are all sitting together in a large auditorium together, and the CEO is addressing all of us, which he would do every year. Along all day, this is the direction of the company. And at one point, a slide goes up, and it's got 4 boxes on it. And they represent the 4 largest efforts that are going on in the company. He goes through the first 3 and talks about how much progress is being made and what we've learned and the good things that we're doing for customers. And then comes to the 4th one, the one that Roxanne and I are leading, and says, but there's just this one that's been a disappointment. And it felt like 5,000 heads all whipped around to look at us.
Want to get away?
To see what our reaction's going to be. And I really wish, Mike, I had this awesome hero's story for you afterwards about how I dug deep and I pulled up forward
I've been there, sir. Yes,
to do it. That is not what happened. What happened is I started working on my resume because I was sure that the CEO, who has no idea who I am, could knock me over in the hallway and not know that he just said that the thing I'm leading is a disappointment. If that's where he is, then there's no way I'm going to be successful in this company and I need to get out. But Roxanne convinced me to do something else.
Right.
So she took me through what we now call a leadership intention interview, which basically had me go back and think about my best team experience and what were all the things I wanted to do on this team. What was I going to take from my best team experience and apply to this team? And then she went and interviewed all the people on my leadership team, asking them basically the same question, but then showing them what I said I wanted. When we're successful, this is how I'll know. And they were surprised because that's what they wanted too. But that is not what was going on within the program.
Right.
And it was obvious that things had changed. This is the speed part for you. The very next week, on Friday, I get the whole group together. There's about a dozen of us. And it's on Friday in this company. And this is, even before Zoom, but people even back then would phone it in, literally phone it in right there at home in their jammies on their phones. Roxanne and I, and usually a couple others, would be in the room. And on this particular day, I'm rushing into the room because this is also back in the time we used to have those incredible 16-digit codes. You had to dial into the phone in order to get in. And I'm the guy with the code. And I'm late because some other executive has grabbed me and wanted to know what's going on with the program and why things were off. And so I'm literally jogging into the room, and I come into the room and I stop because everyone is physically in the room. And even more impossible for this particular group, all of the laptops are closed because this is not how this group runs. They're usually open and they're all working. And they're all looking up at me, all waiting to see what we're going to do next because they have heard Roxanne describe what I said I wanted and it matches what they want. And they want to see, is this really going to happen? And so that's the beginning of a complete turnaround. So that went from being a big disappointment to being the biggest turnaround within the company. And our engagement scores as measured by the company were well into the 90s, 94, 95%.
For 18 months.
For 18 months for a company that typically has 72%. And a goodly number of the people that were working on that program knew that at the end of the program, they would not have a job because of all the changes that we made as a result of implementing all this new technology and changing all these policies and all of these procedures. And yet we were still at this unbelievably high engagement score. That is joy at work. The other thing that goes with that is at no point in any of that did any element of the entire program get easier. No. It remained very difficult. I was on the phone every single day at 5 p.m. to talk to our software vendor about what were they doing to go fix all the problems that we have. We wrestled this thing into submission to get it in there. So it was very difficult work all the way through. But the team had the highest engagement of any team I'd ever been part of before that. And this is a big group. It's like 250 people that are impacting about 10,000 of the employees in the company who are now going to do things differently as a result of this program. And that radiated out to the millions of customers. That was actually unexpected. We weren't expecting to have any impact on the customers. But because they felt it, the employees felt it, those 10,000 employees felt it, the customers felt it. And on the day, On the day we were actually implementing these things, more customers were coming in because they wanted to see how it was going. Because people were talking about, hey, we got this cool thing coming. You actually kind of want the opposite. You sort of would prefer less customers to come in while you kind of work out the kinks of the system. But they wanted to go talk to people and see what was happening.
That's why you did conversions on Friday.
Conversions on Friday.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
You can peek out, Lord, is it okay?
Right. That's exactly right.
So let me go back to one of the great parts about having a show is you get to have your own therapy sessions. So during that, you're at a difficult time.
Yeah.
You've been called out. It must have been something when you come in and you see everybody there and everybody's stuff is not like they're ready to work.
Yeah.
Like we're all in this boat together. At what point, like you say, the work never got easier.
Right.
It was still tough. But the mindset, when did you start to see we might have turned a corner on this thing? Was it a one-time thing, or was it like over the course of a little bit of time?
So I think I'm trying to remember the exact timeline, but I know it happened fast. I knew there needed to be certain things that happened at certain times to kind of build and solidify that, okay, we were making a shift here. And so we started with leadership, like we were talking about before, which is Ed and the folks that, are with him on this leadership team. And so for what I could tell about the entire 250 people is that the teams who work for each of these groups felt comfortable with their own manager, but not across the teams.
Okay.
And they were kind of like, I called it like fiefdoms.
Yes.
It's
my little world.
Right. I'm fine. If you guys would just figure it out, we'd be great, but I'm fine.
It's
So
the
it was that
difference
kind
between
of thing.
sales and marketing.
Yeah,
It's that same thing.
It is. And so it was that. And so I needed to find a way to bring the group together. And so there would be these signals that came out that, oh, yeah, you can trust so-and-so. And just those, you can't really, they're not tangible. Some of these things are, like acts, like an all hands meeting is a great, like symbolic moment where you can have different things happen and show people that, oh, the leaders are actually getting along. But it's that plus all the little things that they're picking up on. And so that takes a commitment. So one of the things that we talk about with leaders is you have this great intention, which is great. And, oh, you're seeing a difference already in the folks who you lead with. That's great. But don't slide backwards. Don't get lazy. Keep moving forward with that pressure. Because as soon as you slide back, they'll be like, oh no, what they said isn't true. It was just something they said. Does that make sense?
Yes. You're from the HR world? Sort of, kind of?
Sort of. I never was in HR. I was always in the business because change, which is my background, is a business problem, less an HR problem. It seems like an HR problem, but change is really about, are you achieving the business result? And you're focusing on the people aspect of it, which for many changes.
How can people get the information about your company?
Oh, just go to our website, thechangedecision.com.
Okay. We're going to get to disrupt. We are. I promise you. You didn't know you were sitting down for all this. What does an engagement look like with you guys? And what's the deliverables on the back end?
You want to take that?
Yeah, the company's going through, they have a change coming. Okay, and it could be any flavor of change. It could even be things are fine just as they are in terms of what we're doing, but I don't like how the culture is. I want to change the culture. And so we'll work with the leaders and start off with a typical consulting thing, do a bit of an impact assessment. So like what's really going on here? So that's standard. Everybody does that. What is different is that we're going to do it not just for the thing, but for the culture. So where are you in terms of joy at work within your organization? And then not only put in the tactical elements that you need to do in order to help you through this change, but the other parts that need to happen in order to achieve joy at work. We'll then work with the leader, coach the leaders, like in the more of a sports coach idea of coaching the leaders through how to implement the thing that they say that they want. And then we'll also work throughout the rest of the company and become a way to short circuit some of the information so that we can help them to understand how well is it going, because that could be difficult. Like, people may not be that comfortable to tell their leaders directly about what's working and what isn't.
No, they ain't telling them. Mm-hmm. Like in the military, you don't. So the Navy band came, and it was for that Fleet Week. What's the other one called? When it's not Fleet Week, they do it on, like, in towns not right by the water.
Okay.
So they came here and they were talking to me, and they were saying, all right, so it was the band. And I said to them, like, who's in charge of the band? Like an E7?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. They said a Master Chief. Now, that means nothing to me. A Master Chief is the highest level you can go. That's right. And I looked in the camera like, excuse me, Master Chief. Sorry, sir. I'm telling you, I didn't know. They walk on water. That's what, in the Army, there's sergeant majors. Right. They get that part. Oh, it's something that you give them the respect of what they do. It is hard putting culture in place, but when you get it, the teams run. Yeah. All right. So we're wrapping this up right here, this therapy session, and really quickly, when did you guys know when you started a business as an idea? When did you know you had something?
Oh, gosh, I think it was when we got our first year-long contract.
Whoa.
And that was pretty quick. I was contacted, I was referred, and I remember when I first got the call, I wasn't really sure I wanted this business because it was kind of a mundane change implementation, and I was really skeptical about, were they just looking to delegate the change to me, or what was it they were really looking to do? And I realized through this conversation that the relationship of the HR department, which is who contacted me, and all of the managers throughout the company could change through how this system implementation was done. I was like, okay, now I'm interested.
That's different.
It was different. And so I did this impact assessment that I was talking about, flat fee, and that's where we start. And then I gave them a change plan as part of that, right? And what we always do is say, you can take this and run with it. That's how we write it. Or you can fully delegate it to us and we'll staff up for that. Or we can just be on call, right? We offer those options. And when we got the first, all right, we want you to do everything, I called Ed and I said, well, here we go.
This is it.
Here we go.
This is working.
It was great. Yeah.
We're a big boy, big girl business now. That's because right. It really does come down to how you see yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not how others see you. Because you're like, these people, they're going to pay us. Like, yeah. You're shocked. And they're like, yes. And so as we move into disrupt, talk about the Richmond. I know, sorry. You didn't know this was all this. I'm getting my money's worth out of this. Okay. You better believe it. Okay. So talk about the Richmond business scene, where we are now from the time you started it, what's changed, the good parts about the things that people would be shocked at.
I have to say that I feel like when we started our business, we were really lucky because there were things going on in Richmond that I think they were sort of new at the time, like all of the startup kind of energy that was happening. So I really felt very excited. Like, I was grateful for it. One of the things that was a signal of that was Gather.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when we first came onto the scene, I looked at offices and really there was very little, at least not with the energy that we were looking for and to be around. And the only Gather at the time was on Main Street.
I remember that when people used to meet, we used to go to the meetings in the basement.
Yes.
Right.
We used to go to the meetings in the basement.
Right. But then I heard about the one that they were building in Scott's Addition. And so I was like, oh, that's where we need to go. I mean, stuff was happening back then in Scott's Addition, still is, but it was really new. And so we went and did a tour and we signed a contract. It was not even walls up, but I wanted the office up front so that I could be with the energy of the people up front, because I knew I needed. I was going to start it first, and I was hoping Ed would come later, but we had to figure out how that was going to go financially, all that stuff. But yeah, that's where we started. That was a sign for us of what was going on in Richmond for small business.
Shout out to Polly and Doug White. They were others when they backed me it really made a difference.
Yeah.
Because they're visionary leaders who do a lot and have really changed the community. All righty, folks, we're getting to the point now where Disrupt RVA. The date of that is?
September 22nd.
And what can people expect?
They can expect a very high energy event. So they will walk in and there'll be great food and great booze. So we'll start off with that.
Okay, one second.
You want to write that down, Mike?
Yeah, we got to give a clap right for that right there. I've never been to one, but it seems like it would be like a TED Talk on steroids.
Yeah, it's got that kind of impact approach, right? The idea is to have an idea that makes you sit up and want to listen to what's going on. The format is much briefer, so it's 5 minutes, 20 slides. Each slide is on a 15-second timer.
Yeah.
So the slides are going whether you're ready or not. So we prep our speakers to practice, just like you do for a TED Talk, so that it does come out smoothly. But with that format, it's almost impossible to do it perfectly every time. People will make a mistake and mess up. So that's where the audience comes in. Their job is to energize the speakers, not to sit back and just listen, but to clap and encourage them if they do make a mistake. So because they have something to say, something important to say, we want to make sure that it's going to come out.
So who are the speakers? Are they entrepreneurs? Who is in there talking, bearing their soul?
It's everyone. So we do a call for speakers every year, and we tell people what we're looking for, and we can give them all kinds of examples because all of the speeches are recorded and they're put on the main Disrupt HQ website and then our own website. So we have a website for every year dedicated so people can see the 5-minute talk anytime. And so, they're able to see what we're looking for. There are no pitches. You're not allowed to pitch a product or a service or a company because that breaches the contract that we are making with the audience. The whole idea is to bring an idea about what work could be. So it's not about pitching, it's about the idea and inspiration.
I like that. I do, because it's something people can be original. The idea of being on a timer would be kind of terrifying. So because, it's like, you have to know what you're talking about. But congratulations to you guys. Tickets are available, I would guess.
Tickets are available. Go to disruptrva.org and push the button and you can get a ticket.
Sponsors? Hold on 1 second. We got sponsors.
This is Petersburg today. This is Petersburg getting together as a family and making sure our residents are taken care of.
Today, citywide, we're providing groceries for our community. The reason behind the food distribution is all of these cuts and food stamps, so we have to make sure that our community is fed and fed well. The need is so broad, but the city of Petersburg has come together to provide and serve. It's all about service here.
Community service never ever stops.
People gave to me.
All right.
It was once where I had nothing, and people poured to me. So I like to give back to others.
It makes other people feel good. It makes us feel good. Everybody needs some help at some period of time.
This will occur once a month for the next 6 months, every first Monday of the month, and then in mid-month, we will serve our own senior communities, which are 5 individual facilities.
Everybody need a hand up, not a hand down, but a hand up, and we're here to lend a hand up. It's what we stand for, but most of all, this is my ministry. God bless.
It started with family. We all lived in the same neighborhood. We made sure that our neighbors were fed. We made sure our neighbors were taken care of. And when I moved to Petersburg 23 years ago, it's like moving from family and back into a family environment. The arms opened really, really wide for me, and I can't say anything other than thank you, Petersburg, for all you do, and that's why I do what I do.
With wagging tails and furry purrs,
Let me pull it, take this down. Right. We are sent. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike King here with celebrated attorney, Mr. Donald G. We're at the firm, his firm with his name on it. Sir, I would say welcome to the program. Well, welcome to the program, but we're in your house.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for coming by.
Alrighty, so we are the business program in Richmond. That's what people know me for. People know you for being an attorney for a year or two, 40 years or so.
I've got 4 decades behind.
4 decades.
Yes.
But now you celebrated there, but now on the business side, you tapped into something that business owners, nonprofit leaders would find very interesting. What is that you're doing now?
Now I am working with what we consider to be a platform for health benefits. It's an overlay or a supplemental health plan, but it has tax implications to it. And with that, it does wonderful things for individuals who may be on that scale where they can't afford to go to their doctor sometimes just because of the copay or the deductibles that they have, or they can't afford some of the prescriptions. And this overlay or supplemental plan provides free doctor visits. It provides no deductible for your PCP, and it also gives you prescriptions for over 600 prescribed medications. But what's most important about it is for any individual who is working out here in today's times, they have the ability to get a net increase in their take-home pay because of the tax strategies behind this.
So that helps the business owner and the employee. It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation because with this, the employee gets these freebies, so to speak, because they have a net zero to them, but the employer also has benefits, and that employer gets to reduce their FICA taxes down. And if they're in Virginia, Virginia is part of what's called the National Council on Compensation Insurance, and the tax effect is to reduce their workers' comp premiums, and it does that. And I'm a living, breathing because my firm is on this.
So people are leery, people are skeptical. It may sound too good to be true.
Absolutely. I hear that all the time. But the critical part of it is, give me those minutes to talk to me. I'm one of those personable individuals. I will come to you. I've flown to Kansas to talk to individuals. I've flown to Hawaii to talk to individuals. I've been in South Carolina and Florida dealing with this because it's effective in all 50 states. But if you give me the time to talk with me and allow me to do what we call a census, and that's to show you where your savings are, show you where your money is going and why and how we can help you reduce this down, I think that you can become a customer of ours.
It makes sense. So it is not just for really, really big. Someone may think, it's just me. I got 3 people. I really don't have the bandwidth. We're not a big organization. And you say?
I say to them, whether you are a company that has 50,000 employees or you have 2 W-2 employees, I will come to you because just as you being small, it doesn't mean you have small income, but I still want to be able to give you the experience of understanding what you could be saving with just those 2 individuals, and I'll come to you.
One of the times people were talking about skeptical, sometimes lawyers be a skeptical type. You guys look at things always, making sure that it is something that works. You looked at this and said, this thing works.
Well, moreover, I have read every document that applies to this. I've read the legal opinions from ERISA, legal opinions from attorneys who vetted this through and through and through. And every conversation that they've had with the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Treasury to vet this and or to make sure they're in compliance with the 2 Internal Revenue statutes that this is made out of. And so, yes, but moreover, what's important is my firm, for the last 2 years, we have been a part of this. And my staff has used it, and we've gone through now 2 tax seasons with it, and my CPA says there's no issues with it whatsoever.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donald G. is here with us, and the name of the firm is?
The G Law Firm, but the company with the new venture is SGH, Business Solutions.
So if you have an organization, so it's for-profit, nonprofit, it works for everyone who is out there.
It works for everyone who is doing their taxes under the Internal Revenue statutes.
There you go. That's the word. Mike King, Mr. G, is here with us. Just make sure you contact him. There's money there. Don't leave things on the table. There's opportunities. You can reach out to the man right here. If it's something you want a question, reach out to me. I will get you to the man. Mike King, ESPN Richmond, MIKEKINGBIZ Media, the platform. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Now, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike King here, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Centers, powered by Icon Realty Group. That's what we're doing. You can follow us on social platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. On the Mic with Mike is the program, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern for ESPN Richmond. Okay, so we got celebrated artist, Vega Artworks is the name of the business. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so tell us who you are, what you do.
Okay, well, like you said, I go by Vega. I'm a retired veteran, 20-year veteran in the Air Force. I graduated recently from Virginia Commonwealth University with a BA in painting and printmaking.
Okay.
Yeah, and I recently opened my own little business.
So you opened a business.
I did.
You know what I tell people? I got a business. It's only small little when I need it to be. When the government giving out some money or they're giving an award, yes, I got, a veteran? Yeah, minority? Yeah, and senior citizen? Let me check all them boxes. You have a business, and I've seen your artwork around. How shocked are you when people know your work and they're like, they know who you are?
I'm really getting started, but I love it. I love it. I think, it makes me feel good and proud that, like right now I'm selling artwork merchandise with my Puerto Rican inspired artwork. Mm-hmm. So when people actually purchase it, I feel really, really good. I feel proud because I love to see people wearing my artwork. I want to share. There's nothing like art to me. So it makes me feel good. You got your work.
All right, let's go back. Best place to station in the Air Force. Best place.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you.
You know when a person tells you, see, now we joke about dog in the Air Force, but that's living. You guys that, for anybody who's in any other services, they understand, when the Air Force goes somewhere, that's luxury.
You don't know how many times I hear that, boy.
Because
if I had to die for every time.
People are not lying with that when they know the food is good. Yeah. The billeting is great. Yeah. You go cool places, and you can get there quick.
Let me tell you, I think I was one of the lucky ones because my first duty station was overseas. So I was able to stay overseas. So like half of my career, I was overseas, and I was in amazing places.
Where were you at?
Oh, my gosh. You really want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I need this.
All right. So my first duty station was Mildenhall, England. Okay. Then I had an assignment to Korea. Now, people were like, "Oh, that's scary place to go."
I loved it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah. After that, I went to Guam, and then from Guam, I decided to go back to the States because of my my nieces and nephews. I wanted to know who I was, so I got an assignment at Herbert Field in Florida.
Where's that in Florida? I've never heard of that one.
Herbert Field, yeah.
Yeah, where is that?
It's like it's what they call the Panhandle.
Okay,
Okay. Oh, I skipped one. Did I skip one? I think I was in Italy. Yeah, I went to Italy.
Where were you at in Korea?
Oh, in Korea, I was at Camp Red Cloud.
Okay, I was at the 121 hospital in Seoul for maybe 6 months. I'd love Korea.
I had a good time. And as a matter of fact, that's where I kind of started my artwork back up. They have like the MWR. Mm-hmm. So I would go there like my time off on weekends and just hang out there and paint and create,
Have you always been a creative person?
Yeah, I always have, yeah. As a child, I always, as a kid, I always loved to draw. I used to love to do my book reports, and I think I used to hate to write the book report, but I used to love to draw the pictures to go along with it. So, yeah, but we've done that.
It's hard. So my youngest son is a creative. It's hard to deal with y'all when you're not. Lord have mercy. Calligraphy, pens, dancing, putting up clothes. You name it, creatives do it.
Yeah. Oh,
and when you try and put you in a box, do you come from creative people?
Well, my father, he played the guitar. Like
Okay,
he was a
okay,
musician.
that's
He
it.
wasn't a professional musician, but he
That's
played
all
guitar.
okay, yeah.
And my mother, I think my mother's the one that got me started with drawing because I used to watch her like doodle. She used to always doodle flowers and faces, and I was so impressed by that, and I copied. I just tried to do the same thing. So yeah, and then I got my little Barbie dolls. I used to make clothes for them, so little paper dolls, and I used to draw my own clothing for them. So yeah.
When you raise your hand to go to the Air Force, what were they like? I mean, it's one thing guys going, but when your girl go, you're the baby going. Well, okay, you going all around the world.
Yeah.
What was it like for them?
Well, for them, actually, my mother was really excited. She was really proud of me. I didn't go like right after high school. I worked as a civilian for like 6.5 years. And, I think like every young adult, you go through that motion about like, what am I doing with life? You start questioning your life and what are you going to do with it? And how are you going to, I was living at home, typical. And it just came to a point where I needed to do something different. I just didn't know what it was. And then my uncle happened to be a recruiter in the Air Force at the time. Yes.
Okay.
As a teenager, he always tried to recruit us, but I never really thought about it until that time. I was like 24 when my uncle asked me if I would be interested in joining the Air Force. And no lie, it was like that cartoon you see with a light bulb.
That hit.
Yeah, it was just like a light bulb just hit. Like, this is my answer. This is what I need to do.
When you joined, what was it like, because everybody's scared.
Oh.
Like, I think I was there for about a couple, my father had been hard on me. I think I was there maybe 3 or 4 weeks before I realized, okay, these people can't kill me. And I was 20, I think, when I went. But see, you were an adult when you went. You had been lifing already.
But let me tell you a funny story, because when I got on that bus to go the first thing that I thought of is like, what the heck did I get myself into? And then I was like, I'm going to kill my uncle.
So you leave from Bridgeport, and where do you go to?
I went to the MEPS up in Massachusetts.
Okay.
And
bunch of y'all up at the MEP station, everybody there.
Yeah, really.
You're doing this thing.
Yes.
And so they were like, all right, so the Army go here, the Air Force go there.
Yeah.
Where did you guys go for basic training?
Well, I went to Texas. So and this is like, everything's like a vague memory to me, but I remember being in the airport with all these, like being on the plane and then getting to the airport and then just so many young kids and we're just waiting.
Everybody holding that little manila envelope. That's like, yeah, everybody holding the manila envelope. So when you get there, when do you realize you can do this? And this thing is, okay, I can sort of.
Well, I didn't have no other choice but that. And once I get started with something,
Oh, that's you.
That's me. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
So after you've been in for a while. Okay, so the time's up. You ready? It's time. Okay, you can do like people do. I can see you later. We'll do another tour and re-enlist. When do you realize?
It was like I think I signed up for like 4 years, 4 or 6 years. And once you get there, you're like, what am I going to do when I get home? You start thinking, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And, for me, there was no other choice. I was like, I'm going to just re this. I'm going to do this. Once I hit that 10-year mark, you're like,
you might as well go ahead and
knock
knock this on out. See, mine was broken up. I did 4.5, got out, missed it, because I wasn't used to being a civilian.
Okay.
And so I missed the camaraderie. I missed that. Went back again, stayed another 8. Might as well go ahead and knock this thing out. I mean, because when you get to 10, 12 years,
oh yeah,
it is a wrap.
It goes by so fast. I can't believe I've been retired almost over 10 years now already.
And you'd be like, thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Uncle.
Yeah.
When it show up, be like, thank you. I'm going to start getting Social Security.
And it's what you make of. I got to tell people, if you're thinking about joining the military, it's what you make of it. You're going to get negative feedback. You're going to get positive feedback, but take that positive feedback and just make the best of it for you. Always stay positive. I always say, try not to be negative, because everybody has their own opinion. And I was lucky because I had such an amazing career. I mean, I had good days. I had bad days. I had days where I was crying and screaming, and, you have good jobs, bad jobs. You have good support, no support, but it's what you make of it. You got to keep that positivity.
So in the is it an MOS in the Air Force? Is that what it's called? So what did you do in the Air Force?
I was in supply. I was a 2S.
Okay, so you're in supply.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you take up the painting again, and I always ask artists, do you know when it's done? Or are you up there tinkering it with it? Looking at it sideways, and I don't know, when is it done, ma'am?
You know what? It's never really done. Because I have paintings now that like I kind of stopped and I'm like, I'll get to it later, and you never do really get to them, but they're never really done, I think. For me, I always want to do touch-ups and stuff, but I kind of just leave them alone. But yeah, it's whether you're tired of it and you want to work on something else. I don't know if they're really ever done.
You don't know when it's done.
Yeah.
Do you work on, so you get the inspiration, you're working on it. Do you work on multiple things, or do you work on this one and then it's done and I'm moving on? Or it's like, I've been working on that one for a while. Let me go ahead and.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I always try to have at least 2 projects going. Definitely. You want to because you want to have, of course, when you're dealing with paint, and depending on the type of paint, especially like oil paint, you need that time a little to dry or whatever. And so you want to get started on something else, and just to keep your mind off of it. Yeah, because you want to be able to sit back and look at your artwork and see what needs to be done, what are the changes you want to make. So I definitely recommend working on 2 or more projects at a time.
Well, okay, Mike is here. She is Lady Vega Artworks is the name of the business. How can people reach you and get information? Because now you done brought some work with you.
I brought one of my paintings. Yeah, this is, so right now I'm, like I said, working with a lot of my Puerto Rican inspired artwork. And this is one of my paintings that I did while I was at VCU. And this is a homage to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And I kind of made a collage. And this
is. Can you check to make sure we're good on mine? Okay, so here, we're not going to cover you. We're not going to cover you. Okay.
So these are collages that I did with personal photographs that I took while I was visiting Puerto Rico. And so it's basically a celebration, a homage to the island.
So how long did it take you to do this? And let me ask you, is this done?
This one is done, but I look at it and I'm like, I think I could touch up a little bit because sometimes the paint dries and but yeah, it's basically done. I haven't really done anything to it. So.
And how long did it take you to do this?
So probably I'm gonna say a couple of months because you have a certain time frame in school.
Okay.
They give you assignment and they usually give you at least 4 to 6 weeks, I think. So something like that.
So for people who go to art school, do they do artwork? They can't take a person who can't paint. So you already can paint when you get there, right? Or what do they teach you, like the techniques and stuff? Because if I go there, I don't care how long I'm up at VCU, I ain't coming out like this.
And a lot of people that attend art schools, some of them really don't even know how to draw. Like they're like, I don't know how to draw or paint. So you kind of have to have an idea. You want to know how colors work and stuff like that. So they don't really teach you like. It depends. They'll teach you the basics. You have to know the basics actually, and then you kind of just go from there. So it's not like they sit down and say, "Okay, this is how you do this and that." No, you do have to have kind of a background, an understanding of how paint works and drawing. So yeah.
So what was it like the first time somebody paid you for
it? Well, I haven't really sold like a painting per se. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I'm just selling like merchandise. But I did. We donated one of my paintings for an organization that.
Because you do it you do a lot of work down in Petersburg, don't you?
Well, I at the PAL, like they usually call for artists, and I kind of submit my artwork, and a couple of my pieces have been accepted.
So what's it like when you see that? Because they go from the house to Also, you're seeing people standing there. That's how people do it. Art, standing there looking, interpreting it.
I love it because I kind of stand back, and I kind of look at people looking at my my paintings and wondering what they're thinking, or I try to overhear what they're talking about. So yeah, it's kind of something. I'm always interested in knowing what they think about it.
And so what kind of painting is that? So that's an oil painting.
This one is acrylic.
That's acrylic.
And it kind of dries faster, so it's easier.
So that's the difference between acrylic
and oil. It's a different texture, yeah. So.
Okay. And this is on a canvas.
And this is on a canvas, yeah.
Do you always draw paint on canvas?
Actually, no. I started painting on bottles, and that's gonna be something I'm gonna be working on in the future, where I just draw these beautiful scenes on bottles. Right now, I have like a collection of 10 bottles right now. But that's something I'm gonna be working on in the future.
So where can people get your artwork and see it? And okay, well, we're gonna go back because this is a business show. We gotta talk about the merch.
Right.
What kind of merch do you have?
Okay, so I have Puerto Rican inspired artwork. So like
the
for
shirt?
instance, this shirt. Yeah, this is based on it's called the gallina de palo, which translates to the chicken of the tree. It's an iguana. They're a really invasive species in Puerto Rico, but I think they're amazing creatures. And so, so these are the type of things. And then I have the coqui, which is like a big symbol of Puerto Rico, the coqui. And I have these coqui and with the Puerto Rican flags. I have T-shirts, I have keychains, buttons, magnets, cups, mugs, things like that. That's what and I'm going to be selling those at markets. So you'll find me at maybe Latin markets and stuff like that. And this Saturday. You're out
with your husband and my man, Sweet Lou Hidalgo.
Yes.
It's out there with the Latin Jazz Festival.
The Latin Jazz and Salsa Festival, yes. It's, I'm not sure the time.
12 to 7.
12 to 7. And I'll be out there as a vendor along with other vendors, yeah.
So you're able to put it, so congratulations to you on all the work that you're doing. Congratulations on the work. And let us know how you can, how we can help you here. Folks, if make sure you go ahead and get out and support her artwork is amazing. Shout out as well. People say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. It wasn't always it was really quickly. Like I said, the Army gave me a wife 46 years ago. Yeah, with some scrubs on. Military marriages they're not normal. They're not, but civilians have no idea, no clue the things that people do, and it's the way people stay together because it's not conventional.
Yeah.
So everybody knows your husband. Stop the madness, William. And remember the time you had me up there? I'm like, when you come with the Spanish veterans? I'm like, what happened? Y'all ran out of the Spanish. I'm like, what am I going to do standing up? I was terrified getting up on that stage that day. I mean, I'm terrified anytime getting up on the stage. Bunch of Spanish folks looking at me like this. Yeah, exactly. So thank you, folks. Make sure, one last time, ma'am, how can people get information about your artwork?
Okay, well, you can check out my artwork on my Instagram account. It's Vega _artwork. And that's V as in Victor, EGA. Yeah, _artwork.
Not S.
No S at the end.
What am I doing?
Oh, okay, put that. Yeah. It's Vega artwork. Yeah.
Vega artwork. Vega _artwork on Instagram.
On Instagram,
There you go, folks. Make sure you check it out. It's been a pleasure.
When you have to make financial choices, it's nice to have a partner to help you make the right call. That's a great idea. Let's do this. Call Federal Credit Union. Your best call.